Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Denise, and in today's video I want to show you a little project that I've been working on now that it's getting close to Christmas. I like to make my own little gift tags. So as you can see, this is just a small little piece of paper. Basically, it's a watercolor paper, and compared to my hand, you can see that it's just a small size. And what I have are these two little notepads, not notepads, they're watercolor pads. They're by Legion and called Stonehenge. One is a hot press and one is a cold press. And if you're wondering what is the difference between them, let me just open up a page. Oh, these are some little practice. Sorry, let me just flip through here. There we go. I'm going to hold it up real close to the lens. So the hot press on the top here is smooth. So that's what hot press watercolor means. Very smooth texture. And then a cold press watercolor has a bit of tooth. So I do believe you can see the difference in those. Now for this project, it doesn't matter if you want to use watercolor paper, if it's hot press or cold press, it's your choice. These are not inexpensive, they are on the pricier side. So really for this project and making a gift tag, you can use any paper that you want. I just liked that I had these already. I like the size. It's a perfect size for a gift tag. So I'll be using a sample from one of these pages to show you what I've done here. As a colorist, I have a lot of mediums that I use in my coloring books and on my coloring pages. And some of the things that I use are distress inks. Now this one's called Distress Oxide. So I do have this one by Ranger, and it's called Lucky Clover. And I'll also be using these little mini ones. I've got Distress Ink. This one's called Spice Marmalade, and this one is called Salty Ocean. I will also, I have it off screen, but let me show you. I just have a simple cloth and a spray bottle of water. Let me put that aside. And then the brushes that I will be using are these little brushes that work really well with the Distress Inks and Distress Oxide. They're very soft. You can get these at dollar stores, Michael's. If you can find them at craft stores in the makeup section, like at a dollar store, they're not expensive at all. If you buy these at a craft store like Michael's, you're going to pay a lot more money. So just a little tip there in case you're wondering where to get little brushes like that. They're wonderful. And then recently I purchased this. This is meant for distress ink. So it's a applicator handle and then these little foam tips, and you can take them off, and it came with a set of extras. So you just sort of slip on this little foam piece, and then you can go into the distress inks and have some detail using this little pointy. Do you need this? You don't actually need this, but for the project today, I'm going to show you how I am using it, and maybe that'll inspire you to do the same or something different. Another item I have is a black fine line pen. This is the Fudensuke. I can't say that word very well, but Fudensuke pen. It's by Tombow, and it says it's a brush pen, but this is it's a hard tip pen, which will be great for the detail. So that's what I'll be using there. But any black fine line pen will work well for the details. Also, I have a set ready of another medium that I have in this case are all of my glitter pens. Well, not all of them, but some of them that I've stored in here because I have a lot of glitter gel pens because I love using them in coloring pages and other projects that I that I do. So in this project, I'm just going to hold it up. You can see that there's, you know, a bit of glitter. I hope you can see that. There we go. There's some glitter that we've used in here. Okay, we as in me, that I did. Okay, so let's get started. So the first stage, and I'm just going to put this aside as a bit of a reference, but when in the first stage of creating with the distress inks, that's the first thing you're going to do. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way. I'm going to use these two right here to get started. Now I have this brush that I've sort of dedicated to all of my blue inks and stamp pads. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is just get some ink on this brush. It's so easy and fun. I mean, you could do this with kids too. It's not just for adults. Now, I'm just going to go around in a circle, not thinking about anything, just getting the color on the paper. And the idea is not to be even or perfect. I'm going to grab some more so that when you go over, you see how you'll have light places. Did you hear that in the background? My Echo speaker, or my Amazon speaker, always.
Did you mean TV?
She always interrupts me when I'm trying to make a video. I've noticed that in my other videos, either the refrigerator starts up and then that might stop, and then the furnace comes on, which is on right now. Not sure if you can hear it. And you know what? I'm just going to ignore all these background sounds. I know that you're used to hearing all that, so let's just, you know, keep moving forward. I can't always stop and start just because there's a bit of background noise. Next thing I know, my cat will start meowing. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you a shot of my kitty cat. I've never shown my kitty on the screen. Okay, so as you can see, I've just sort of randomly went around with the blue ink. Okay, not really thinking about anything. Right? Doesn't have to look like anything. You're just getting some color down. And now I'm going to grab this one called Spice Marmalade. All right. And I'm just going to go around and just sort of, that really goes on well. So I'm just going to highlight some certain areas. Okay, just like that. And now I'll put that aside. All right. Now, the next step is we're going to make the little Christmas tree, or sorry, I call it a Christmas tree, but it's a, you know, it's a pine tree. It's not decorated like a Christmas tree, but can't help myself. You know, when we see trees in that shape, I always think Christmas trees. But it's a, you know, it's a pine or a spruce tree. So what I use is this implement right here that I bought recently, and it's proven to be quite a lot of fun. So now I'm going to go into this ink called Distress Oxide. It works very similarly to the Distress ink. So if you're wondering what the difference is, I'm no expert on the difference between the oxide and the Distress ink. It's in the way that they can be activated differently. But let me show you what I mean when I get this next step done. So because this has a nice little point, I'm going to grab some of this green, and I'm going to make just the idea of the outline of a tree. So I'm just going to start, I'm going to offset it a little bit for this bigger tree. And what I'm doing is just forming the shape of a pine tree. See how it does not have to be perfect, nothing like that. Okay, so I'm just making it a little bit taller because then I'm going to make this smaller tree right beside it. Now, some people might think, oh, but it should have a rule of three, you should have 3 items in the, and it's like, no, I'm going to do whatever I want. So I'm going to have 2 trees because that's what I've got room for. If you can fit 3 trees for the rule of 3, you go for it. So there's the idea of 2 trees. See how simple and fast that is, and a lot of fun. Now, I'm just going to close this up and move this out of the way. So with my spray bottle, I am going to quickly do a fast spritz on top of here. Okay, so I'll probably get things wet, but I don't want to do it off screen. I want you to see how I do this. So I'm going to give it a quick spray, just like that. And I'm just going to wipe my workstation here. Okay. So what happens is that spray of water will now activate the inks to give it a bit of a well, it's called bokeh, or like a splotchy look to it, and it's in the background. Let me hold up close. You see like here where it looks like sort of faded out spots on the trees, and it will create faded out spots in the background. So just wherever the ink was. Let me put that down. But with your cloth, it doesn't really work if you just let it sit by itself. I noticed that if you blot the water, it will create that splotchy look a little better. Okay. And so I'll just bring it up close. See how it's just sort of faded it out and giving a little splotchy marks all over. Okay, so we're going to let that dry, and I'll come back just like that. This didn't take long to dry at all. So here we are. We're going to do the next step. So if you find that you've sprayed where you thought, you'd made trees or some other element, maybe a snowman, something like that, you can always go back and add, a bit more color if you so choose. I don't mind the faded out look. So let's go on to the next step. And what I do is take my fine line pen, and now I'm going to start deciding what kind of elements that I want to draw. So this is really like reverse coloring with distress inks. Isn't that fun? You don't have to buy the, reverse coloring books. You can create your own. So I'm just going to just brought that up closer. So I am going to reference this because I've created it similarly. And so for the outline of a tree, all I do is just go ahead and create whatever I think the lines should look like. And I'm just doing it very simply and going right down to the bottom. So the color there. And then this other idea of another little tree, I'm going to do it the same sort of way with my outlines. And I want it to look like it's further back and behind this tree, so that's why I'm going to bring the bottom to there. And you don't have to create the idea of the ground, but I think I will. I'm just going to draw a little line going across like that. Again, just to make an indication that there's a bit of perspective, even though this is not a serious picture. This is meant to be just fun and creative. And again, it's going to be a gift tag on somebody's present that I'm going to give to. So here for either this is a sun or a moon, it doesn't really matter. I've got sort of two spots here where the yellowy orange color is, and I think I'm going to just create the idea of a sun or moon over here. And I like just to make a swirl like that. And again, it could be anything you want. And then with the glitter gel pen, I'm going to create stars. So I think I'm done with the black pen. I'm going to put that aside. And earlier I showed my case of glitter gel pens. So I think I'm going to grab a yellow. Let's see how that goes. And I'm just going to create stars. And the idea of other stars might be just little dots. Do you see how the glitter just shows up? Is it showing up on the screen? I mean, I see it's very glittery. There we go. Just rotating the page so you can see that. And I'm just going to make lots of nice little glittery stars. What else? I could keep going and do some other things, but I really think I'll just keep it simple. Now, to add a ribbon, I have a little heart punch and just a simple hole punch like this. So we need to make, here, let's just make a hole in this one. I need to I'm going to just try and eye it up into the center as much as I can. Make a little hole there. And with this punch, I'm going to make a little heart. It will be upside down, but it's cute. So let's do a little heart punch. Oh, is it working? It should work. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just not strong enough to. Okay, it was working before. Maybe, oh, the paper's very thick because it is watercolor paper. That's why. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind. These, I'm sure I got that hole punch from the dollar store, and you know, they're not always the highest quality when you buy items from the dollar store. I'm just going to test here on just a little sticky note. It's bugging me that it's not working. Yeah. So it works well on thin paper. Okay, so let's put that aside. That's a bit of a fail. And let's just make a hole. Just a little round hole then. There we go. I have little scrap pieces of ribbon that, you know, I like to save from other projects, or sometimes when you buy items, if they're, you know, elegantly wrapped in things like a ribbon, I always save it. So these are a little bit wrinkly, and I want to show you a little trick that works when you just have a tiny item like this that you want to smooth out without getting out your big ironing board and an iron. I have this adorable little iron that I think I got from Amazon, but I'm sure Temu has one too. It's only one heat setting. It has a switch. It's off camera because I have it plugged in, but there's a little switch over here to turn it. So it's just on and off. Here you can see where the light is on. Yeah, so it's just off and on. But you can see it's just a tiny little thing. And let me just move some things out the way. I won't do this right on my tabletop here, but with this little iron, I can smooth out this ribbon. This has been such a handy little thing. Also, why I got it was for my coloring pages that warp. If I use Inktense, watercolor, or other mediums that sometimes warp your coloring page, I can always go back over the page and iron it out. Oops, I got some residue. Okay, not sure. I should have cleaned the bottom of that iron. I'm glad I didn't do that on the front side. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. I have a dark green ribbon here that I'm just going to quickly give it a quick little iron, smooth it out. There. And I'm just going to turn this little iron off and put that aside. Okay. So now we've got, this ribbon might be a bit long, but let's just see for the purposes of today, just to show you. No, I did that wrong. There's a little trick. You fold your ribbon in half. Okay, so you make like a little loop. Then put it through your gift tag. Or you could do this with bookmarks if you like the idea of making bookmarks. Another perfect. See, and then as you put your loop there, and then it makes a nice looking tie for your gift tag. Okay, let me show you again. Just take your length of ribbon, make a sort of fold it in half, like a little loop, put it through there, and both ties go through the loop. Very simple, right? So just like that. There. And then lots of room to, tie your gift tag in whatever means makes sense for the gift, or bottle of wine, or whatever. So on the back, let me get my black pen. Very easy to write whatever message. In this case, because it's a gift tag, I'm just doing to and from. And voila. A very quick and easy project to do. And hope you like it. Hope it inspires you. And thank you for watching my video. And I'm going to end it with a quick little view of my kitty cat. Thanks again. Bye for now.